pulled the handle, then I realised that wasn't going back in again, that I was going to leave the jet in a fraction of a second. I couldn't get out the jet quick enough because the violence of the manoeuvring of what the jet was doing, uncommanded control. The seat cartridge fired and punched me up initially, so that I was able to look outside of the jet over the front of the canopy before the most amazing, phenomenal impact of the rocket pack firing with 3,000 pounds of thrust, which fired me out from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 0.3 of a second. The force of it caused my head to rock down onto my knees, and so I saw my body leave the aircraft almost in slow motion as the Phantom jet with its 38-foot wingspan just slipped under my feet, and then I was tilted backwards.
My name's Ian Ferguson. I was a pilot in the Royal Air Force from 1972 to 1991, flying F4 Phantom FGR2s, Tornado F3s, air defence. Flew 20 years continuously without a desk job, and hold the record for the lowest and the fastest combined speed and height ejection in the Royal Air Force when I left an aircraft behind at 600 miles an hour at 250 feet. Well, we were designated for a standard low-level intercept mission, 2 targets and 2 fighters. So we took off as a 4-aircraft formation from RAF Coningsby. I was accelerating in the stern to take a practice sidewinder shot on the target ahead. And the first thing that caused alarm was the nose of my Phantom jet suddenly made a dip for the ground, and I'd not put that control into the aircraft. But to my surprise, the jet pitched up 30 degrees very violently, and then I thought, well, I could still get some height and away from the ground if I just moved the control column just slightly forward. But when I moved it slightly forward, the jet pitched really under sort of -3 G towards the ground, and then I really began to become alarmed, and looking outside was just stone and ground and rocks. There was no sky. When I pitched the control column back, the jet went into a greater violent 8 G tuck up, so the nose came up to 50 degrees. My body weighed 8 times heavier than normal, and I realised I was going. My right hand went down between my knees to the Martin Baker seat pan handle. I pulled it knowing that the handle wasn't going back in and that I was about to leave the aircraft in a hurry. I was aware of the enormity of the air blast and also the impact of the rocket firing me from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 0.3 of a second. So my biggest concern was, would I survive? In milliseconds, there is an adrenaline rush, there is time expansion. So I memorised the instrumentation as I left the cockpit, and I was aware of everything that was taking place within milliseconds, even to leaving the aircraft, watching my body come out of the jet and seeing the jet impact the mountain and explode in a fireball.
When I think of Martin Baker, I just think of lives saved, of a fantastic design that literally works, yes, in a fraction of a second. So when I think of Martin Baker, I just think life-saving, phenomenal design. It works. Thank you. If you've got an important decision to make, my advice would be, don't panic, okay? Unlike flying a jet where you'd have to make quite a quick decision, generally in all other walks of life you have time to make a considered opinion, gain as much advice from professional bodies if needed, and from family and friends if it's a really critical decision, and then assimilate that all together. And certainly for myself as a Christian, my wife and I, we always pray over key decisions. Speaking as a Christian pilot, I've always placed my hand when I've done the external checks on the jet, and I've always said, Lord Jesus, please bring me home safely. Okay, now I'm speaking, I've had 5 engine failures, a fire in the cockpit, I've been on the grass with brakes locking up, and the other aircrew on the various squadrons, whether it's 19, 29, 56, Refresher, or the OCUs, they've always said, don't fly with Fergie, because my name's Ian Ferguson, so don't fly with Fergie because he always has an emergency. But I always said, yes, but God always brings me back. And I've always had the confidence that whatever happened, the Lord Jesus would always keep me safe and bring me home.